What's up, everybody? It is the draft show here at Fantasy Inframes. We're going to be drafting a Best Ball Mania here tonight, but with a little bit of a twist. We've got Keith, Kevin, and Rich are here with us. Shout out Erica. We miss you very much. She's in Dallas and having some internet issues because of those storms, so we will see her back next week. But guys, let's get ready to do some best ball drafts. Hi. I hope you all like the new newish intro there. Thanks to Jorge for getting that up to date for us.
The worst picture of I think all five of us that he could possibly find. So I appreciate that as well. Not the most handsome man in the world, Jorge. Come on, give me a fucking break here, bro.
I know. I've got my mouth open like halfway through.
I'm just staring at Rich. I mean, I'll do that anyway, but
right.
Oh my gosh. Did you guys have a good Memorial Day weekend? Anybody do anything fun?
Work.
I spin moved aside, put a spin move on a 7-year-old.
Football or basketball?
Football. Oh, he threw a pick and I hit him with a spin move. He tried to two-hand touch me. Not happening.
It's better than trucking him, which is usually what I try to do.
I told him
I don't get very many opportunities to truck people. So when I'm playing ball with little kids, I just run them right over.
I told him I was going to put him in the dirt if he got close to me. I was going to give him a stiff arm, but didn't come to that.
It's like those mascot games. Have you guys seen those where the mascots?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I love it.
Those are the best. Well, guys, as promised, we are doing a Best Ball Mania draft tonight. Like I said, it is with a twist. So what we're doing tonight is we are going to be, Keith, Kev, and I are going to be trying to convince Rich what player we should be taking. So we have to plead our case, make him side with us. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a little chaotic. I hope you are in the draft. Hope you are going to be drafting with us. That being said, everybody, if you want to draft with us, I am going to be clicking. Hop into Underdog right now and pull up Best Ball Mania. I'm going to give you guys a couple seconds before I hit enter, and then we will get it going. Are you guys excited? This is going to be fun.
So excited.
Yeah.
I've never been more excited. Sorry. I was I've never been more excited in my life to have different exposures to players that I would never draft. So
exactly. We're gonna make you draft a running back like right off the bat.
No, we're not doing that.
I've done it before.
Hell, we will.
All right. I hope you are in the Best Ball area, the Best Ball Mania area, ready to hit enter. I'm hovering over that green button. I'm hitting it right now. Now. All right, we are waiting on 4 people. So if you are out there, you're listening, and you still want to get in, I would jump on in immediately if you can, if you want to draft with us. Oh, waiting for 3 people.
I was just gonna say, by the way, they did add the marathon today. Also, Underdog did, which is the cumulative scoring, which is pretty cool. I'll probably be throwing some bullets into that. That'll be fun.
So what is the marathon? Because I just saw that it dropped, but I haven't had a chance to like really look into seeing what it was.
Yeah. So instead of
points, right?
I mean, it's just basic. What's that?
It's total points, right?
Yeah, it's total points. So
it's not head to head like week to week. It's just how many points you score for the season.
Exactly. So it definitely leans toward having as many active bullets as you can get. With that. So I'm definitely excited for that.
I would much rather take my chances of getting lucky in head-to-head matchups. That's just me. Probably got a lot better chance to succeed that way. But Kevin, who's an expert, I understand.
Are we 12?
Ooh, we are 12.
Yes.
I think that's even better. If we're going to have to talk about this, we can at least hold off on the one pick and then kind of get the extra time to talk about the second. So I like that.
Yeah, this is awesome. Okay. Let me move my windows around over here now that I've got the draft board up. Draft starts in 22 seconds. We're 12. What are we looking at for 12? What are you guys thinking over here?
Brock Bowers.
Brock Bowers, 12.
If you watch the
Okay,
show
it's
before,
Brock
you
Bowers at
understand
12.
that joke. I don't really mean taking Brock Bowers at 12. I am not. I'm an idiot. I'm not that big of an idiot.
Anything Keith says is for entertainment purposes only. It's not to be
Exactly.
used.
They do not
Yeah.
express the views or thoughts of Fantasy and Frames, Jorge Edwards. Stacy will back whatever I say, but
Absolutely. Let's go with
I don't know about
Bowers.
the rest of
as well.
these people.
That would throw. I could just imagine all of the like shocked expressions of everybody in this draft if we took Bowers at 12.
We would have to put that on social media.
Is
for,
it tight end premium?
Right.
No, this is not tight
Okay.
end premium. And ooh, we're moving.
There we are.
I just love that we just did our redraft rankings. Our number one running back, first running back on the board. That's not shocking. But I got to give credit to my boy Kevin, who I was pretty shocked when he said Tyreek and Lamb as his top two receivers. And lo and behold, look at the first two receivers off the board in this draft. CeeDee Lamb and Tyreek Hill. He is not playing a fantasy best ball expert. He actually is one. And it's good to know you, Kevin.
I mean, I would have taken Tyreek Hill too. He's my number one guy. Look, the 3.8 yards per out run is massive. Like, just we know they're gonna combine for him and Waddle, who just got paid today, by the way, for 50% of the targets there. I mean, you can't go wrong with either guy. But half PPR, I'm gonna take the spike week over maybe some of the target, because CeeDee Lamb's got like 200 targets almost.
Bijan before Brees. I don't hate it. I still think Brees is the unquestioned number two running back. I would want, as a Falcons fan, though, trust me, I hope Bijan has the biggest year ever. In all seriousness, I am thinking Travis Kelce is one of these two picks. I was talking about it earlier. I look at all the wide receiver question marks in Kansas City.
Oh, we're up around the clock. Who, Rich? Well,
I don't think we
have who you want.
Kelce. I don't think we even have to take him here. I think we could probably get him at the 3-4.
Okay.
Wait, who do you want?
Well, that was in response to Kelce. I think we can get who are we looking at here?
10 seconds.
Garrett Wilson, AJ Brown, or AJ Brown's gone. Garrett Wilson.
I like
Garrett
Wilson.
Garrett Wilson.
All right.
And then
Garrett
we got
Wilson. All right, we got a fresh 30 seconds.
Yeah.
All right.
What wide receivers are there still?
All right, so we've got Harrison, London, Ayuk, Olave, Devontae, Debo, Nico.
I was talking about London earlier. I know that Kevin was as well, that he averaged
London,
almost 14 yards per reception over the middle of the field last year. If you look at the other receivers in that range, it's like
I'm Ayuk or Taylor, either way.
Ayuk or All right, Rich.
Right.
You have 3 seconds.
There's Taylor.
You get him?
No.
No.
Fine. That's
Sorry.
fine.
Hey, we got London.
I won. Screw you both.
You know what? How about we do this? Everybody's player, say your player, and then I'm going to put them in the queue now because we have a lot of time before we have to talk about this again. And then that way they're already in the queue. Because here's what slowed me down with Taylor. I had to scroll down a little bit and then click him, and then opens that box again. So then I have to scroll down a little bit more, and then we timed out.
So can I just ask, because Kevin, I know you're Mr. No running back. Are you doing that for our benefit, or did you really like Jonathan Taylor at that position?
That was more of a capitulation with the group if we wanted a running back there, but I'm fine with Taylor there because I would say that's a more unique combination to get a Wilson Taylor versus maybe Wilson London, but totally fine with both. Like the way I'm approaching like the first 7 rounds is I want for me, I would try to get like 5 wide receivers out of there with a couple detours, and whether that's a tight end, whether that's even a elite quarterback or a running back. Running wide receivers kind of really where it dries up to where you're really behind the 8 ball.
That's what I was asking.
Especially when you get in like the 6th, 7th round where you're staring down the barrel of Tyler Lockett and Curtis Samuel and Cortland Sutton and guys like that, where if you have that group, you can come back, because wide receivers, especially like maybe you get in the 13th, 14th round where you're looking at Jalen Polk and you're looking at Jermaine Burton, where there's still wide receivers that you like.
Kev, I did one on Tuesday and you would have been absolutely horrified. I only had 4 receivers through the first 10 rounds.
Well, it's been nice to talk to you, Stacy. No.
It was horrible. I hated it. I had like
just get boxed out.
I tried doing some different stuff, and it just it felt so gross at that point when I only had 4 and I was looking at who's still available in like the 11th and beyond. It was gross. I can't do it. I did not feel good about it.
I get it. I mean, it happens. I mean, that's stuff like the especially the puppies. Like that's where I'll kind of get into my experimental phases with, trying out different builds, seeing what works. I mean, $5 versus $25. I understand that. Certainly, you don't want to maybe do that unless you're like super confident in your BBMs. But
unless you're gonna max out the BBMs,
doing hyper fragile 3 running back rooms.
Yeah, I ended up with like 3 quarterbacks. I mean, it was just really horrific. Like it was. I don't want to do that again for sure.
All right, I'm taking a look and seeing what's going to be toward our pick.
Do you want me to tell you the receivers that are still available?
Yeah.
So we've got Mike Evans, Devontae Smith, Pittman, Metcalf, Cooper Kupp, Zay Flowers, Tank Dell, Higgins, Pickens, gross, Amari Cooper, Christian Kirk, Keenan Allen. Like that's kind of what we're looking at.
I've already, said
who's your guy?
I told you, I really think that Kelsey slipping in these drafts is baffling to me. When you look at, he was injured early in the year last year. He still caught 90 passes, 900 yards, and 5 touchdowns. In the playoffs, in 4 games, he had 37 targets, 33 receptions, almost 400 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Rashee Rice, who knows, how many games he's going to miss. Xavier Worthy, I know a lot of talent, but it's a question. Marquise Brown, again, question. I could just see Kelsey end up having like one more monster year, and it's the one year you can actually get him at a value, I feel like, because people are thinking, oh, he's on his way down, when really once he got healthy, he looked a lot like Travis Kelce down the stretch when they needed him the most.
So I've got Kelsey in our queue. We've got, if we want to do this draft so far, we're almost through 3, and it is not the only other person. We got Sam Laporta, and then everything else is receiver and just a handful of running backs at this point. So
I have a couple names that we could float as like, or maybe a 3-4.
Let's put them in there real quick.
Josh Allen and ETN.
Ooh, that's kind of sexy. All right, I'm gonna throw ETN in there. I'm gonna throw Josh Allen in there.
Jets play the Buffalo Bills.
Yes, that's what I was thinking too. All right, so we're on the clock. I'm good with any of these guys here. Mix it up a little different. If we wanted to go receiver, we've got Zay Flowers, Higgins, Cooper, Keenan Allen. I mean, which we can do on the turn as well. So, Rich, what do you say?
So I actually kind of like the just out of the names that have been said so far. Between
got 4 seconds.
Yeah,
Josh Allen.
We got him.
Yes, we got him.
All right. So I really like the idea of ETN. I like to have a stud running back out the gate here. But I also do really like what Keith was saying about Kelsey, and I don't know if he's going to make it back around to us. So go. Kelsey.
I'm good with that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think Kelsey comes back either.
Yeah,
right.
And I think that's good pivots there as far as maybe getting the detours and getting elite detours.
And we could even potentially get like Shakir, there's some value to put with Josh Allen. He's kind of like Jordan Love, I think, is what you were saying, Kevin, that one of the reasons you're really high on him is he's a QB that you don't have to invest a lot of capital to stack him with wide receivers because there's so many options. And really, I mean, let's be honest, there's not a true like number 1, number 2 pecking order. So I like Allen. And I said it, if you look with Brady, after he took over, the Bills offense, yes, it changed, but it was still really good, and it was way more efficient. It reminds me so much of Kansas City the first year that they traded Tyreek Hill, where it was longer drives, but Mahomes was still like a top 5 QB, and he didn't have the running ability that Allen does. So I really think the Bills, people are sleeping on that offense overall because they think, oh, you lost Diggs. Oh, they're not going to be this big play machine. No, I think they're going to be really efficient, and that's going to mean their wide receivers are going to have a ton of targets, a ton of catches. The touchdowns are going to be hard to predict, but maybe that just means Allen gets most of them.
Right. And I think we've also done really well in terms of correlation pieces because Kansas City does. Oh God, why am I blanking on that? Pittsburgh. That's right. Pittsburgh pieces are cheap. Buffalo pieces are cheap. Jets pieces are cheap. Atlanta plays Washington. Those pieces are cheap too. So we don't have to break the bank in the 5th, 6th, 7th round to get correlation pieces when we can do that in the back half.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's some receivers that I'm thinking of now that I think that we can get a little bit later to kind of make up for going, quarterback and tight end. I also, though, how do you guys feel about this? What if we did a bully tight end and go grab Kyle Pitts to go with Drake London?
You have me at Kyle Pitts.
Do you want me to go through what I just did on the show before? Why I was so high on Kyle Pitts? He was my 5th tight end. Kirk Cousins last year targeted tight ends at a 27% clip. Since 2015, he has the most pass attempts, passing yards, and the 4th most touchdowns to tight ends. He's thrown 59 touchdowns to tight ends just since 2015. And Pitts, again, I remind people, Matt Ryan was washed and out of the league a year after he left Atlanta. His 1 year of Matt Ryan, who was by far his best quarterback, 67 receptions, over 1,000 yards. He's led tight ends in unrealized air yards the last 2 years. One of those 2 years, he played 10 games. It would not shock me at all if Pitts has a monster breakout season. I slightly like London more just because I think that London has never had a decent quarterback. Like, he's literally his entire career been saddled with the schmucks that he's had. And the main reason I like London so much in college is for a guy that's big and not really like electric athletically. He just always gets open. And that usually means you're a really smart route runner, kind of like with Kelsey. He knows where to, fit in with the zone, kind of, find the space. So I have him a little bit more upside, but it wouldn't shock me at all if Pitts has a monster season either.
Actually, too, I was thinking of Dalton Kincaid as well. I threw him in the queue just in case if we wanted to do that instead with Kincaid also that to kind of go with Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know who else?
How many flexes is it in this one? I'm sorry.
Just one.
Just one. Okay.
Yeah.
Another guy that we could look at too, if we wanted to get, a running back is James Cook as well.
Yes. Exactly. That's it. I'm all right. So I'm going to throw Cook in there. I'm also going to just preemptively roll down and go throw Jaylen Warren in there too. Kind of go with our Kelsey.
What about Najee? No?
I don't know. Do you guys have a preference?
I just, from
Najee
history of being an Arthur Smith watcher, I know that typically the biggest, most physical back gets the ball in the red zone. The Cordell Patterson thing is really honestly the only thing that scares me about that. But I think that more than likely Najee Harris is going to get a lion's share of the goal line. That's my guy right there, right, Kevin?
Yeah, I know was who I wanted with.
I'm really big on McLaurin myself.
I'm so pissed about that. That's fine. We're gonna have to go back and get Dotson later then, maybe.
Thoughts here on James Cook. How are we feeling about Cook?
Cook is good. All right. So Jaden Reed just went. We're on the clock. James Cook, he's past ADP. 55 is where he's going. We are on.
I actually kind of like his value here too, but again,
grab another wide receiver after that too.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. Yep.
If you wanted to do Pitts is available still. He's 61. So I'm going to go ahead and grab James Cook. The receivers that are here are Worthy, Adunze, McConkey, Addison, Coleman.
I'd be Worthy.
I think Worthy fits this team.
The correlation for sure, right?
Right.
The upside, yeah.
Yep.
All right, so we're going Worthy. We feel good about this. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, you know who my guy is because I'm a lad truther, but I'm okay with the Worthy pick there.
I mean, we've taken lads so many times.
and I love, trust me, that you'll find like no bigger bull on Kyle Pitts than me, but
he might be there when we come back though. I mean, like I could even see him potentially there because what is 3 tight ends gone off the board now, or is it 4?
It is 4. If for some reason,
I missed Kincaid. Kincaid did go, so it's 5.
Yeah.
Okay,
that was when I had to refresh the screen for some reason. It had just stopped updating.
I think the Pitts thing just structurally didn't work too well with needing a running back. Getting a little behind a wide receiver too.
And we were talking about it again when we were doing the redraft show before, and like ranking guys like George Kittle all of a sudden is very reasonable with where he's going. And in a best ball, I really like him because he's so infuriating in a standard league because he's going to have those games where he has like 2 points. But what I love about Kittle is he has a chance to have 30 points, any week, or like he did last week, actually consecutive weeks.
Yeah. And the one thing about bully tight end is that it really limits you because you're done. Like you can't take a faller. Kittle does tend to fall. Guys like Engram and Njoku can fall, and you can't take advantage of that. Whereas, obviously you're taking Kelsey, and then maybe if we took Pitts, not only that, but it's the double barrel thing of, okay, now we've really got to make it up at wide receiver too.
And especially being on the end there too, because now so many more guys are going to go before it gets back to us. There's going to have so much more opportunity.
Right. More defensible if we're in the middle of the board versus
Stacy. Guess where I had Bowers ranked among tight ends for the redraft show?
Number 1.
No, I'm not that crazy. Come on. I had Kelsey 1.
Let's see. Top 5.
I had top 5.
Ooh.
So it was Kelsey. I had McBride 2, and then I had Bowers 3. Followed your boy Laporta was 5th. I had Kincaid slightly in front of him. I worry about the miles defeat in Detroit. That's my only concern with Laporta. I think Jameson Williams is going to have his breakout year this year. I think he's seriously the most talented wide receiver in the last 2-3 drafts. And it just hasn't worked out. That Green Bay game last year made me feel a lot better about it because it was the first time in an NFL field I saw both the explosiveness, the athleticism, the physicality that he showed at Alabama week in and week out. And honestly, as a Georgia fan, I'm not afraid to admit that he doesn't get injured. We may not have won that national championship game versus Alabama because he got hurt early in that game, and that was a huge turning point for us.
Oh, yeah. All right, guys. So we are just now on the going in the 7th round here. Team 1 is on the clock. All right. So we got 11 picks before we go. So our team so far, let me just read off our team right now. So we've got Garrett Wilson, Drake London, Josh Allen, Travis Kelce, James Cook, and Xavier Worthy. So we've got 3 receivers. And then
I consider Kelce a receiver, to be honest.
Yeah,
when you look at his Tigers and reception.
Underdog does not.
I know, but
the key factor.
That's fair.
Guys, I don't think Warren's going to make it back to us. I don't think it's happening here.
He's got ADP, and Montgomery was the one I was looking at, but I still think we got to grab at least one wide receiver on this turn as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I threw some on the queue. I threw Rashee Rice, Shakir, and Dotson in the queue, not to take right now, but just to have in there for a little bit later. Here's who's available now. We've got Chris Godwin, JSN, Deontay Johnson, DeAndre Hopkins, Rice, Jameson Williams, Cortland Sutton, Curtis Samuel. That's kind of where we're at right now.
I think with our build, and Godwin would have been awesome to grab if he had fallen to us, but I think with our short on wide receiver build that we should probably bake in some targets. Yeah. So guy like Godwin, maybe even like DeAndre Hopkins, I think would be a good wide receiver for this team. Just because I think if we had taken, instead of Kelsey, if we could taken a wide receiver, we could take another upside stab on a wide receiver like a Brian Thomas. Oh, that stinks.
There goes Hopkins. Dang.
I mean, I'd even be okay. It stinks, but I'd even be okay with Deontay Johnson. Did he go yet? No.
With brick hands? Brick for hands? Well, if
I don't like it, but it's 150 targets.
I was going to say, if you're looking for targets, I don't.
That's like eating. You have to eat your vegetables at some point.
Right. I guess.
All right, this is getting insane, though. Jake Ferguson and Ingram both went before my boy. Like, what the F are people doing?
Disrespect.
It's extremely disrespectful. But I like the Johnson pick a lot.
Oh,
you motherfucker.
All right, DeMarcus J, you have to out yourself in the chat.
That's it's in the chat right now. We have 20 seconds. Who's our backup? We could take Warren if we want to. Is Warren our backup?
Jalen Warren there? Yeah.
And then we can get a fresh 30.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So I put Rice in here just to do a fun little double stack with Worthy and Rice. But then there's Shakir. Let's see who else is here. We got Jameson Williams, Sutton, Curtis Samuel, Tyler Lockett. Ugh.
I really like Shakir. I'm somebody that looks at, if you look, down the stretch,
I'm good with Rice here.
Okay. We got 10 seconds, 8 seconds, Rich.
Yeah.
4, 5.
Rice.
Yeah.
Okay. I like Shakir too, though. I think we can probably get him on the way back, Keith. I'm going to leave.
That's kind of a bad run out with those wide receivers getting taken.
I know.
At 77,
all 3 of the ones
81,
we talked about: Godwin, Hopkins, and Johnson.
Yep.
Rude.
Yeah. So.
And again, the reason I like Shakir, number 1 in the NFL, Josh Allen was QBR rating, win targeting Shakir last year. And if you look down the stretch, used him a lot. I like the fact that they got, obviously rid of Diggs. I think that him and Kincaid are going to be the big benefactors in the passing game. I could see Keon Coleman coming on late, but I don't see him being a huge factor early with what he did in college. Because, again, I think this is going to be an offense that kind of grinds it out, picks up 5, 8, 10 yards at a time rather than trying to kind of, move the ball down the field and get Josh Allen to make mistakes like he did in the playoff game and not taking the sure touchdown pass or first down that could have led to the game-winning touchdown pass, instead going for the home run that cost him.
Yep.
Absolutely. So I was looking at other weeks besides week 17 for our team. The Bills play at Detroit week 15, New England. They're at home for New England and then at home for the Jets. New England might be something we can kind of do towards the back end since those guys are pretty cheap.
Yep. That same with Washington. Kind of backstack those with the Falcons guys.
Mm-hmm.
Even some of the Jets pieces are pretty cheap too.
Yeah. All right.
Who'd you be targeting in New England? Just like who are some big targets that you're taking out of there?
I like Polk.
Mario Douglas is super cheap.
Yeah,
Drake May.
Love Hunter Henry as as a second
dart. Yeah.
Love Hunter Henry.
Yeah, all those wide receivers are really cheap and available, when people aren't thinking about them. And then you could just take Drake May in like the 16th round, and there's that. Because we've got an elite quarterback. We're not under any really big motivation to have to spend a lot of more capital on quarterback. Like if we could, right? Like we don't have to take Jaden Daniels, which is great. We can take Kirk Cousins if we really want to in like the 12th round. But
I'm going to throw Daniels in there too. I kind of like that idea. I have so much Kirk Cousins, so I'm going to be anti-Kirk Cousins for this team just because I have so much of him so far. I want to see what it looks like to get something else.
I still do think we got to, not to beat a drum, we still got to get a wide receiver here and kind of patch that together.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm throwing a bunch in the queue right now. Can this be a Malachi Corley team?
Could be. Could also be a Mike Williams team.
There you go.
It's Lockett still. It could be a Lockett team. Like
Kendrick
guys that are going to be out there, guys that are going to be earning targets. Like Mike Williams is a great pick at ADP. Tyler Lockett is out there. The Curtis Samuel's still out there.
I think so. Yeah, Curtis Samuel's still out there. I'm going to put him in there.
And he fits with Allen too. So and Cook.
That was actually going to be that was kind of who I wanted to take.
Shakir as well too.
I've got Shakir on here. Yeah, the whole queue is orange right now, guys. Are we good on we know for sure we want to shore up the wide receiver room?
I would say, and then really, I don't think we need to take a tight end. We could probably, unless we wanted to do 2 wide receivers, we could take a running back there and kind of do that too.
So we've got running backs available are Javonte Williams, Singletary, Brian Robinson.
I like Javonte Williams, and I like
Javonte Williams is nice.
I do like Brian
Robinson too. Yeah, I was gonna say that was the other guy I really like too. Yep.
All right, we'll throw Robinson in there. Yeah, Javonte just went. There goes Curtis Samuel.
That's insane to me. Like absolutely insane that you would take him over Shakir. Crazy.
I know.
Crazy.
We are about to be on the clock. Team 11 is picking. Team 11.
Don't you fucking do it.
Take it.
What's his name?
DeMarcus J.
Yeah, seriously, DeMarcus J. We'll find out where you live.
Yeah.
And I'll put a rattlesnake in your mailbox.
So are we locked in with so who's the top of our queue as far as a wide
right
receiver?
Now we've got Shakir Robinson. I've got Jahan Dotson in there.
What about Lockett? Does Lockett go yet?
I do not have Lockett in there.
What do you guys think about Lockett? Is there kind of we were gonna try to get DeAndre Hopkins or that, but
I'm good with it.
To do him and like Brian Robinson to fit with our Atlanta stuff.
All right, so I'm gonna take Brian Robinson right now. Right, Rich? You cool with that?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Yep. All right, Robinson. All right, then we got Shakir, Lockett, Dotson, Mooney. I put Mooney in there. It's a little early for him. What do you think?
Is this early for Shakir?
So Shakir is right now. So we're at the 109 pick right here. He's 111. 102 is Lockett. Dotson is 132. So we probably wait on him. But we have 9 seconds.
We got to vote. I'm Lockett.
I'm
Shakir.
Shakir? What'd you say, Rich? Shakir?
I'm Shakir.
Either way, 2 seconds.
Yep.
Okay.
They both fit. I like both of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like
No,
I do understand. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Rich.
No, I was just gonna say. So I like Lockett a lot. And maybe it's mostly nostalgia that for why I like Lockett. I have a feeling that this year is not going to be a great year for Lockett. I think JSN is going to take a bigger step forward, and so that was kind of why that. And I wanted to get that stack with Josh Allen.
How do we feel about like Howell being there? Or do you guys think this is still Geno's team, not just to start, but at the end of the year? Or do you think that there's real competition there?
I think there's legit competition. I mean,
Oh yeah,
Geno, I mean, I know they got him locked into a contract, but I can totally see Sam Howell. Look, if Geno comes out of the gates like he did at the end of last season, I don't know what keeps Howell off the field, at least seeing, because he's young. Remember, wasn't he the consensus overall number 1 quarterback at North Carolina, like coming out of his junior year, right? Or sophomore year?
Yeah, he basically
like
started over draft. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, the top quarterback of the country, I mean, like over.
Oh, that I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think he was coming out after the year before his last season there at UNC. But yeah, I still think Sam Howell is slept on and was kind of the, I guess, fall guy in Washington when you're talking about that. They couldn't protect anybody. Right. There were so many targets there that he just spread the ball to like literally everybody except for Jahan Dotson.
Except for poor Jahan Dotson. But Curtis Samuel's gone now, so he has to be the number 2 there, right?
All right. Jameson Crowder's still there. It's okay in Washington.
I totally forgot Jameson Crowder was still playing football.
A lot of people did. It's okay. I did for a little bit too.
I think he forgot.
You might have also forgotten.
So I really like the Tajay Spears pick where he went. I'm somebody who really believes in his talent. I know that Tony Pollard makes him, kind of one of those split backfields, but let's be honest, a majority, or not a majority, but at least a third, or half of the NFL teams, that's what they do. And you look at like the numbers he had per touch, he's good in the passing game. Like, I mean, he still carries from Derrick Henry, who I still think can play, but it's because Tajay Spears was so good. And again, it all gets back to if Levis can, be good, because obviously they need that for him to be able to do what he can do. But I do like, the Ridley Hopkins receiving core, because you've got one that's really good versus zone, one that's really good versus man. That should help Levis's development a lot this year.
I dig it.
Yeah.
Probably time to get some guys in the queue, I would say.
Yeah, so here's on our queue right now. We've still got Dotson. I put Darnell Mooney in there to go with our Atlanta group with London. We've got Jalen Polk, Malachi Corley, Demario Douglas, who just went. Oh, Dotson just went. Damn it. All right. Well, we do have one Washington player. That's okay. All right.
We still got outs to like Luke McCaffrey and guys like that too.
I was gonna say we could even target, Ben Sinnott, there towards the end if we wanted to, we'll get our second tight end there. All right, so that's who's in the queue right now. For looking at receivers, we've got Palmer, Judy, Cooks, Gabe Dave, former Bill. Does that work? Probably not, right? If he's not actually on the bill.
I still
the
like
judges will not give you credit on correlation.
And Joshua Palmer just out of who else? I know CeeDee Lamb's going to get a ton of targets. We've talked about that, but Cooks had a pretty sizable role outside of that. And I think Dallas is going to throw even more with the running situation. Their defense was really bad. They didn't address that. And then, I'm the biggest lad truther in the world, but Palmer did kind of flash at the end of last year. And the opportunity is going to be there for him, because I think we've talked about this. Most likely they're going to put Quentin Johnson, I think, in the slot actually, and let those two guys go on the outside, which historically that's where you can really put up the big games, i.e. Mike Williams, to where Keenan Allen obviously had monster games, but it was like 13 receptions for 120 yards, right? And it's those guys on the outside. And it's why I'm so high on Ladd, is I think most people don't realize he was really good on the outside at Georgia.
So we've got 2 picks. Maybe a running back would all like. There's 2 I'm looking at right now. It's Dowdle and Marshawn Lloyd.
Lloyd and Dowdle.
That are If
I
we
like
want to go,
those. I've taken a ton of those guys. I love those guys. I threw some later round running back or receivers in the thing we don't need to talk about right now. All right, so Zeke just went.
So he's the gatekeeper to Dowdle.
He is the gatekeeper. So we could take him now. Grab our 4th running back.
Yeah,
and then grab another receiver to go for 6.
Yeah, and then we can start worrying about our second quarterback, second tight end. Who do we like out of those receivers?
Real quick, we've got 4 seconds. Dowdle.
Yeah, Dowdle.
All right.
Sweet.
Done.
Yep.
Okay. Now we've got Mooney, Polk, Corley. Those are still pretty early. I kind of like Mooney here. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Moondog's a good bet on the wide receiver 3 in Atlanta, and that kind of keeps that alive too. I'm down with that.
Yeah.
Rich? Keith?
Yep, I like Mooney a lot.
I get it.
All right. All right, now
Moondog.
Where did Zay Jones end up?
Arizona.
Yeah.
He's going to be our generation's Michael Wilson. 80% routes and like 55 targets.
Look at this 12th round, Justin Herbert. That is rude.
He's been being slept on.
There's some good spot. This is a good spot for QB2 coming on our next turn.
So I threw Drake May in there. We've got Cousins. Rodgers is there. I mean, that would go with our build.
Totally defensible. Totally fine.
Yeah.
Daniels is
the only
gone,
thing is
right?
I'm not the biggest fan of quarterbacks or two quarterbacks playing
Daniels
each other.
Yeah, same.
Week 17.
You said Daniels is gone.
What's the Jets? Yeah. Let me see what the Jets' schedule going into the playoffs is. So they're at Jacksonville, at home for the Rams, and then at Buffalo.
I mean, Stafford's out there too.
Stafford is there. I'll throw him in.
Like those guys are like perfectly fine. Like those are good QB2s. Those the veteran cohort, and then I mean, depending on if we wanted to wait, like Drake May would be fine too. I'm totally fine.
And you could even do like a Stafford, DeMarcus Robinson.
How are we on bye weeks, by the way? Are we good on bye weeks positionally?
Positionally, all right. So Wilson and London have the same bye. So does Shakir and Mooney, and so does Worthy and Rice. Obviously, have the same. And Kelsey. So we're gonna be week 12 is gonna be a tough one for us.
We're gonna have 400 more points.
Let's say we're gonna go 13-1. That's okay.
Yeah.
We may just have to punt week 12.
I actually kind of like that in season-long drafts where I do. Like if I'm going to go all in, where you're like worried about, that's what I do is like, screw it. I'll just basically take an L and hope I do, better the rest of the weeks, because it is kind of nice if you have like 5-6 of your core all gone in 1 week. That means the rest of the season, they're all there, especially in a best ball where you're getting no matter what their best performance or best lineup.
I dig it.
Absolutely. All right. So we've got in the queue right now. All right. So here's our build right now. We've got 1 quarterback, 4 running back, 6 receivers, 1 tight end. We are coming in. We are in round 13, and we are going to be the 156, 157 here overall. So in our queue right now, I've got Jalen Polk, Corley, Douglas, McCaffrey, Wan'Dale Robinson, and don't freak out because of Wan'Dale, but where are they? There was a reason I put him in there. Oh, they play Atlanta.
Yeah.
Joe Matz is really high on Wan'Dale Robinson this year,
Wan'Dale.
And said if you look at he can do a lot better job explaining this than I can, but just if you look at his numbers and the games that he played with Daniel Jones, really scary. And they've even already mentioned they may use him a little bit more in the backfield as well this year, which is something he did at Kentucky. He thinks he's going to be a real breakout guy, especially on a team that, who else are they going to throw it to if Waller retires and Barkley?
Waller's off doing, sad emo divorce. I don't know if you guys caught that video, but that was rough.
I would be sad too if I had that piece of ass and she's like, I'm out of here.
Yeah. Weird.
I'm not, blaming him. This is a guy too that unfortunately battled drug addiction, which always scares me when I see somebody looking sad like that.
Yeah. There's a dream turn coming up, by the way, for us.
Is Douglas included in it or no?
Douglas,
He's not.
I got Douglas here. Can we please Malachi Corley? This is our Malachi
Corley Rogers.
Okay. I like it.
Corley Rogers.
I
love it. Can we do it? Rich,
if it falls to us, look. Corley is already in the Aaron Rodgers vortex.
So Kevin, let me ask you then. Are you 100% Polk above Douglas
I
already.
actually looked Javon Baker over Polk.
I'm Douglas.
I'm Douglas
Douglas
Baker Polk.
Yeah.
Just because I didn't like what I saw from Polk, but I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong plenty other
You
times
saw
again.
Baker's-
I just meant we were talking earlier about volume, and it's like when Demario Douglas was on the field, I mean, goodness gracious, he had one of the highest target rates in the NFL.
Right. He's
So,
like the Jacoby Myers we have at home.
right, yeah. And that's why I was just curious because, you know, I understand we were doing the Jets still, but I was just curious.
Yeah, no, I'm a big Demario Douglas fan. He might make it back to us if ADP stays true.
Yeah, we just
all right,
gotta,
something
I think we got to
else.
eat our vegetables. I know it sucks to take the teams that are
Rogers?
playing each other,
I was gonna say, yeah, do it.
but I'm fine
Yeah.
with Rogers and Corley
Do it.
if you guys are.
Nope.
All right.
I mean, we get a bunch of fucking
on.
crazy consponsy theories from these two. I'm
Exactly,
blaming
baby.
Stacy, okay?
Woo! Get out your tinfoil hats. Let's go.
They're going to be talking about anti-vax and
Is
This
that
team
gonna
is not
The world
sponsored by
is-
Alex Jones.
the world is flat. And what other good ones are there?
This team is going 34-0.
Oh my God. Sorry. I don't know if people follow NBA that are in fantasy football or not. I opened it up expecting to see T-Wolves challenging for a game 6. They are down 75-44 at home with 10 minutes left in the third quarter.
I'm in prime territory. I mean, we both are, me and Rich. So
Yeah.
They were down 29 points at the half, 69-40. Oh my God. And no surprise, Luka, 29 points, Kyrie, 19. And if you follow me on Twitter, you know, on ESPN Northwest Florida on Wednesday, I went through all the Atlanta sports team nut/gut punches of my lifetime. And what has got me talking about this is, if you were not aware, the Hawks drafted Luka Doncic and said, you know what? Now we're good. We'll trade him for Trae Young and take next year's first-round pick, which ended up being basically nothing. And now
LA Laker Trae Young.
it's oh my God. It's just the most Atlanta thing ever. We passed on Chris Paul for Marvin
Wasted a good
Williams.
surprise on you.
Yes, we did. And it got pretty dark by the end of that. I think it took about 15 minutes just to go through all the Braves losses. Stacey, there was a bunch of them.
I can't. We're not talking about the Braves losses right now. We're not. Can't do it.
And Acuna, come on. Like, really? Again?
I can't with Acuna. My heart is too broken. Like, Keith, let me tell you, the Atlanta Braves have broken my heart more than like any man ever could in my entire lifetime. Okay.
I believe that.
Yeah. 100%.
The good news is, though, now that Acuna's hurt, we'll probably win the World Series. So
I know. That's what I was thinking. I was like, well, we had Strider that year too, though. Oh, no.
I know, but it would be an amazing situation, especially for people like me that just like to be an agitator sometime. I'd be like, see, the Braves are just much better without Ronald Acuna. They've won both World Series.
I wouldn't know anything about being an agitator.
He's wearing a Yankees hat. That there might as well be a blinking lie over his head when you're wearing a Yankees hat.
I'm from Central New York, dude.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying that Yankees fans are agitators for sure.
Yeah. We are. Well, not. It could be worse. It could be a Mets fan.
You know, my dad's a Yankees fan. He's originally from New York.
Can we just keep? The Mets are going to Met? Did you guys see their latest?
Mets have already metted. There's still a lot more metting to go.
That's my favorite thing every year is when they're going to Met.
Wait till they trade Pete Alonso to the freaking Tampa Bay Rays for 4 prospects.
So what tight ends are out there?
Freddie Freeman is doing well.
I miss Freddie, man. I miss
I'm
Freddie.
glad that he's happy in LA. I'm glad that he's happy there.
I still don't believe though that was like his decision. I think if we would have matched it, he would have stayed. And it was just the Braves ownership group being cheap.
Advice. Yeah, I think he got really bad advice on how to handle that situation, and it backfired on him.
There are a lot of tight ends out there, though.
There are. So I've actually got 4 in the queue right now. I've got Henry. I've got our beloved Kate Otten. I went Tyler Conklin just to match with our Jets group here, and then I've got Jonnu Smith.
Likely out there.
Yeah, Likely
that's my guy. I love Likely, man.
Hang on, Likely is there. All right, he's going. Okay,
I think I would take Likely over all those guys.
So Likely's got a 183. So we're coming up on the 180, 181 with us right now. So we've got.
And the other guy really wanted just
Mario
one
Douglas
at
is
tight
still
end.
here.
So
Do we want to go tight
Mario's-
end running back?
what backs are there?
Are there any running backs left? We've got Dobbins, Herbert, Roshan, Damian Pierce, Deontay Foreman. Like nobody that goes with our build.
Where did Foreman end up?
Cleveland.
Cleveland.
He's one of the best picks on the board, honestly.
Right? Yeah, that's what I was wondering. So, because I mean, Chubb's like probably what, at least a month or two in?
Chuba's gone, DK's gone, Tyrone Tracy's gone. Yeah, it'd be Foreman or Elijah Mitchell for me at running back.
So I like Foreman. I've got him up there. I would vote for Foreman. I'm going to throw Mitchell in there too.
Oh, they went McCaffrey. That guy's just.
Mario Douglas is still there, guys. Mario Douglas is still there.
That's tough. And I could conjure us up a running back if we really need to. If in my queue, I would still have like 55 running backs still up there. I could MacGyver the shit out of.
I think we have to take Likely with one of these two picks.
I think we could take the Mario Douglas and Likely and then push it.
I'm good with those two.
Yeah.
Douglas and Likely.
Yep.
Because that gets us to 7 receivers.
No, 8. So we can be done.
We can be done. Yeah.
Because I really believe there's a chance Likely ends up being a de facto wide receiver.
He's like the only like tight end handcuff, but it's perfect if you have Kelsey. And he's going to be.
They're going to be both on the. Yeah. That, I mean, I can't. Again, you got to remember Bowers and Washington. No, you're good. Played together at Georgia and a Todd Monken offense, and they both like feasted. They both caught the balls. They both were used. And what they did was they moved Bowers around, which is what I think they're going to do with Likely, is play him a lot at slot and other things because he's just such a mismatch.
So the last 2 picks are running back. So that would give us what? 1, 2, 6, 8, 2.
We're at 4. Yeah. So we're at 4, unless you wanted to do something crazy and take Drake May and Hunter Henry.
I think we got to get the
Let's take Cordell Patterson.
That's not the worst pick of the
kickoff returns, and then plus Pittsburgh with Arthur Smith. I'm kind of not.
Foreman is still here. I left him in the queue. Mitchell's.
I do like Foreman a lot.
Mitchell's in the queue. I'm looking at running backs that Clyde Edwards-Helaire is not a bad pick.
Like, I was actually thinking that would go with our build. So
right.
Yep, that makes sense.
I'd be fine with him.
Okay.
And Janu's in Miami, right? Is that where he ended up?
Yeah. He went down to Miami.
Is Dylan Lobby? He's still available, right?
Lobby is still there. Let me go put him in the queue real quick.
He's the where did he end up?
Vidal
went. He went to the right. So where did Vidal go? Chargers, of course, with every other running back.
We've still got Khalil Herbert is still there. Roshan, Damian Pierce would go with our Baltimore pick there with Likely.
So I'm just curious, that team that just went Watson Young, had they not taken a quarterback yet? Or did they take one and then
they might have taken one up top and then just stacked
Okay.
Let me take a look. I'll scroll.
I'm still trying to learn, like I do not consider myself.
Yeah, they went Mahomes, but they did a 3 quarterback build there. That's interesting. All right, so we're coming in. We just hit round 17. So our last 2 picks are going to be that's it for us.
It's really interesting when Fields went. They could have Fields. So to me, if you're going to do 2 more QBs, why not take the upside, right, Kevin? Isn't that kind of the thought process, or no?
Yeah, I'm just not expecting Mike Tomlin to do the correct thing, so I really haven't draft Justin Fields.
Oh, he's going to definitely do whatever's going to get them to 9 and 8.
He's one of those stubborn coaches that it's like his way or no way.
That's very fair.
It's Mike
Tomlin.
Tomlin.
Who did that team just take? So they just took Bo Nix again. So they took Fields and Nix. Who else did they have? Burrow.
I don't hate it.
No,
I don't hate it. They had made a bet on with Troy Franklin with Denver. So
yeah.
I'm scrolling down and looking at some names that are available. Blake
Keaton Mitchell still out there or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I saw that he was not going to be ready until close to the season, I think is what I said.
Right. Yeah, Keaton Mitchell probably is going to be like he's going to play in like week 5 or 6, and that's early because that was in.
You're saying that's the best case, right?
That was in late November when he tore his ACL.
Okay. Yep. Gotcha.
So we've got CEH, Lobby, Mitchell's there. How do you guys feel about Damian Pierce? And the only reason I bring it up is because it would go with our. Well, never mind.
I
was going to bring up Jawar Jordan because there's rumblings that Damian Pierce is a cut candidate.
God, that's my guy
Ooh,
too. I was
yeah.
so high on Damian Pierce 2 years ago, and they got to take a huge
Really?
victory lap after his rookie
Hey,
season.
guys,
I'm trying to look at guys
than
that
you.
let me
I'm
let me
trying
ask
to
you.
look at. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Is there something wrong with Khalil Herbert because his ADP was 182 and we are in the 200s now? And
Is
he's
he still there?
Yeah.
Okay, I think he's like an absolute smash because if
Yeah,
that
I
dude gets
agree.
traded,
Yep.
he's going to get taken now because of that. Oh,
We
maybe
could
not.
do him
I
in
thought he was gonna get-
CEH.
Khalil Herbert CH is perfect.
Yeah, Herbert CEH, Rich.
Yeah.
Because if Khalil Herbert gets traded to a team that needs a running back, like if he gets traded to the Giants, he's starting. He's getting 180 carries on that team.
So
Right.
you know when you click on the players here and it has like a little blurb about them right before you draft it. So when I clicked on Khalil Herbert, as soon as you were talking about moved, it said could be moved.
I was about to
Right.
say CBS Fantasy. This was only 2 weeks ago. Said that, that he could potentially end up being traded, and I think Herbert's so good, man.
He's the best. I still think he's the best running back.
I agree. I completely agree. And I think that the DeAndre Swift move is the only move that they made that to me was like, I don't think he fits what you're looking for. You already had 2 backs that could do a lot of what DeAndre Swift could do. To me, they needed more of a hammer, right? Like somebody that you could just give the ball and he's going to get 3-4 yards. They're not going to fumble. They're going to, really wear on a defense. And if Swift has another healthy year, I'll eat my words. He's a Georgia guy. It's like what I was telling people last year. It's why he tailed off. He's never been able to do it. Last year was the first time he ever had anywhere near the kind of touches he did. And a lot of times when it's later in a guy's career, it's like they fall off a cliff the next year, right? Because their body just takes such a beating.
Right. And Khalil Herbert, too, is like top, what's he, 4-8? He's top 12 in rush over expected last year, too. So the dude's still efficient. If he lands with in like Houston,
right?
Like who's to say he couldn't land in Houston if Mixon's, if he could eat into Mixon or something happens there. We know that if Damian Pierce is potentially a cut candidate, they drafted Jordan, I believe, in the 5th round. Like that's a wide open. It's not like last year when they had Pierce, but they also had Devin Singletary, is like a touch vulture no matter what team he's on.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Well, guys, there are 4 more picks left around 18. I'm going to go ahead and start going over who is on our team. So we have the 12th pick. Sorry, I drank some water wrong and now my throat's all crazy. So apologies for that. So 12th pick, Garrett Wilson, Drake London, Josh Allen. Then we went Kelsey with our 4th pick, James Cook, Xavier Worthy, Jalen Warren, Rashee Rice, Brian Robinson, Khalil Shakir in the 10th. Then we go Rico, Dowdle, Darnell Mooney, Aaron Rodgers, Malachi Corley, Demario Douglas, Isaiah Likely, Khalil Herbert, and CEH on our team. Keith, who do you like the best? What was your favorite pick?
I kind of like just being able to go Allen, Kelsey right there at 3-4 because I think Garrett Wilson and Drake London are both extremely undervalued. I know some people are probably going to look at that and go, you spent the 12th and 13th pick on Garrett Wilson and Drake London. Well, Garrett Wilson has already proved he's a stud.
You did it with Zach Wilson.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure he's going to be a bump up. And again, Drake London in his career has caught passes from Desmond Ridder, Taylor Heineke, and Marcus Mariota. That's it. And he averages almost 14 yards per game over the middle of the field, which is where he's going to feast. Guess who's really good over the middle of the field? Kirk Cousins. Guess who also is really good over the middle of the field? Michael Penix. I think that Allen is undervalued this year, that people are looking at the explosiveness. I think that actually helps him. He might have more rushing touchdowns, more rushing yards. And then again, Kelsey, I don't understand it. Like I was saying last year that I thought maybe he was old, right? And then I started really thinking about the dude was supposed to miss weeks at the beginning of the year. And what do you do now? He just basically rubbed some dirt on it, said, I'm going to play through it. And it really affected him. And then as he got healthy at the end of the season, I go back, look at his targets and receptions, and I'm going, holy shit, he looks like Travis Kelce again. And if he has, that year, then you basically in your first 4 picks, maybe you got the number 1 QB overall. I think the number 1 tight end, that's pretty safe. and 2 wide receivers that if they're both top 10, now we're cooking right off the bat. I love those first 4 picks.
Yeah.
I really
like
love
that. I think
backs, actually.
I was just gonna say the running backs is where I looking at that. Yeah.
So we've got Cook, Warren, Brian Robinson, Rico Dowdle. Scroll all the way down, you got Khalil Herbert and CEH there. So you're talking like the first 4 guys, like even with Warren, there are all starters, could be all number 1s right there. And who knows about, Khalil Herbert and what's going to go on there with Swift. And then you got CEH.
I'm huge on Robinson Jr. Like he got shot last year, and I think people forget that. Like he got shot and he played and he was great.
And he still averaged 3.9 yards.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Give him the pass when he gets shot.
So there are good things ahead for Tank Dell. Then is that what you're saying?
Do what?
Yeah, big thing. Yeah, like 4 yards per outrun.
Also got shot this year.
Yeah. So I really like that. And again, you look at James Cook's numbers. Once Brady made it he wanted to feature him. When what running back was he? Running back 12? Is that what that says? I can't.
No, that's a 5-12. So he was probably like RB like 20-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah. So see, to me, that's a steal. I mean, that's a guy that if you just look from the weeks that Joe Brady took over as the OC, James Cook was the top 5, top 10 running back, and you're getting him as the 20th running back. Like I really like this build, and also like for best ball that like Warren, home run hitter, Xavier Worthy, home run hitter. If Rashee Rice comes back, like just say that Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs offense is really good. All of a sudden, we're going to have a bunch of big weeks because we got 3 of the 4 main offensive weapons with Patrick Mahomes, which, hey, that's not a bad place to be. I really like this build, and I'm really big on Shakir, which I know a lot of people are probably going to be right, and I'll be wrong. But I think he's the best pure wide receiver. I'm not saying Cook's not going to take it, Kincaid's not going to take it, but I think out of all the wide receivers in Buffalo, I would want to have Shakir, seeing what I saw last year. So I love that, having him with Allen as well.
I love it. Rich, what do you think? How'd you like being in the hot seat?
There's a lot of pressure.
the laugh at the beginning.
I'm going to take a shower.
I'm sweating. No, no, it was a lot of fun. It was very interesting. I really like the build. It's definitely not something that I would have done myself. Wow. So like seeing it from your perspectives was eye-opening, honestly. Like there is some really good information in there, and the correlation is starting to make sense now too. It's starting to click. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I liked it.
Nice. Yeah, I really like this team. I didn't know what to expect, but did you guys all like doing this? I thought this was kind of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think look, I mean, the fact that we still got a running back room that's pretty,
I would argue one of the better like running back rooms, like looking at other teams.
I agree.
I mean, obviously we don't have like the CMC type guy or Bijan or Brees, but you look at the rest of their running back.
It shows the strength of the running back room that you can get when you take your first one in the 5th and then kind of alternate it that way. Yep. Like you don't always have to take one in the 1st and then one in the 4th, one in the 5th and then 7th. Like that's start when you start getting a little bit fragile with your team. And I'm not going to go all 0 RB, evangelist here, but
or you could go Bijan, Jonathan Taylor back-to-back picks, which I was that's a build.
Yeah.
The only thing that I wish that I had done differently with my decisions in the beginning was I wish that I would have gone ETN over Kelsey, just because I do like a little bit of that hero ball, and we would have still been able to get Pitts on the next turnaround.
Yeah.
And so there is that, but overall though, no, yeah, you're right. I do like that.
Yeah. It was a good time. Well, thanks to everybody in the chat who joined us. If any of you were drafting and you were listening as well, thank you for that too, guys. Make sure
unless you're drafting 11, fuck yourself, okay?
Respectfully, fuck yourself.
Yeah, respectfully. I'm sorry, go fuck yourself. Okay.
You are not welcome back. Guys, make sure to smash that subscribe button if you want to make sure you know when we are drafting. AKA it's 9:00 every week. Thursdays.
Depending how long me and Kevin, Jorge, and Britt talk, but yeah,
hold that show hostage.
Yeah, it's a soft 9. Okay, so watch me Football Weekly.
That is impressive, Stacy. A soft 9 is nothing to. Man, my wife would be ecstatic. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's not Darnell Washington numbers by any means, but Anyway, so guys, we'll be back next Thursday, guys. As soon as the Scott Fishbowl rules drop, we will be here doing a couple of these throughout the season before those drafts start. We're going to be doing expert mock drafts with the Scott Fishbowl rules. So if you're playing in the Fishbowl and you want to get an edge and you want to take a look at what the mock drafts look like, we are going to be doing those and bringing those for you. But that's going to be the only mock drafts we do this season. But those are going to be a lot of fun. So you better hit subscribe so you know when those are going to be out. But otherwise, we will see you back next Thursday. Everybody, have a great night.